We start with cash. The Queen famously never carries it, but neither, it seems, do a growing number of people around the world.
Coins and notes have been the foundation of trade. Years ago, 6 in 10 transactions involved cash. Today, it's less than 3 in 10. And 19, the Access to Cash Review warned that a cashless society would leave 8 million people in Britain struggling to cope.
UK, ATM usage collapsed by 65%.
So, what do you know about the concept of cashless world?
Oh, absolutely nothing.
No. Like that concept?
No. You mean like contactless payments at shops and banks and... Yeah.
1p.
I've got 2 £5 notes.
I just tap and go.
So hello, my name's Andrew McDonald. I'm a potter. This is the 4th shop or workshop I've had, so I've been doing it a long time, started in 1987.
My name's Adele Billinghey, I'm a glass artist and I work at the Harding House Gallery.
My name's Richard Sylvester, I'm in my 60s just. I'm a freelance music teacher and street musician. That's my main activities these days.
So I'm Faye and I'm from Bunty's Tea Room on Steep Hill in Lincoln.
When I first started, credit cards weren't really an issue. No one had credit cards. Nearly everyone paid with cash or cheque. But when we moved here 10 years ago, it soon became clear that we were going to need a credit card machine. I'm happy to accept cards, and people are using phones and watches and whatnot more and more. I'm happy to accept that. My main gripe and discontentment would be the price, especially for small retailers, in that it affects a retailer with a smaller turnover much more adversely than a bigger retailer, and it effectively puts us at a disadvantage.
I don't think it'll affect me massively. I think it'll just increase my card bills. I have noticed since the pandemic it has been a lot more card.
Cashless world means you do everything off your phone. You've got to have an app on your phone, you've got to have a working phone with a bit of charge in it, and rely rather a lot on technology, which isn't always that reliable.
People will often buy more things if they're buying on a card. They'll only have a certain amount of cash in with them, and sometimes they will walk around and they'll pick several things up. If they're paying on a card, they don't see it in the same way as, oh yes, I'm paying this amount of money. They'll just say, oh well, that's just all coming out of the bank, and we actually benefit from that as a gallery.
It doesn't concern me, it doesn't worry me thinking, oh my gosh, if cash doesn't come, because it is a card world.
It'll be a bit of a struggle on the busking front. Won't have the money to put in your box, and then if there's other things I need, it's parking, or you can nip into the loo in Lincoln, you need 20p these days, so you can just stick that on an app on your phone. Probably
some people are a bit cautious of using cash, but then there's places out there that are saying cash only.
There was a month or possibly a 6 weeks period coming out of the pandemic in this year where no one used cash, because there were these stories about it being possibly a way that the coronavirus could be transmitted.
Some musicians have gone, or street musicians are using card machines and stuff, but I wouldn't want to be that reliant on technology. It's not reliable. I'm concerned about it because it will affect what people can give me. I don't like what it's doing to other people. I don't want it to like what it's doing to my family, my kids who are growing up in that world.
Do you have any cash on you right now?
No, probably about 20p or something like that. And you know what as well? I have children, so when their teeth fall out, it's a real struggle to actually have cash for the tooth fairy. That's probably my only thing, is when I need cash.
More for the youngsters maybe, they're with their phones, everything's done by a phone or a card. It's just very easy to just tap, tap, tap and go.
Cash has come back a bit, but the contactless card payment is the vast majority of payments, and it looks like it's going to be for the foreseeable future.
It won't change my job. I think I'm a committed musician until they cart me away.
I don't actually think it will change my lifestyle or my job. It won't affect me, I'm sure, it's a 50-50.
We sell pots to people who come into the shop. There's a tactile element to them, but the payment transaction is very, don't really mind if it's contactless or whether it's currency, or if it's checks even, old-fashioned or cash, we don't really mind. It's not a massive issue to us.
Regarding my business, I'm absolutely fine with the cashless world, because if I have to take cash at events, I then have to bank it. So it's another step that makes it more difficult for me to get the money into the right place. Regarding the gallery, we used to take cash all the time, and then obviously due to COVID we couldn't take it anymore. So it's actually a lot easier to not take cash, again, because if we take cash, end of the day, we have to then go and bank it all. If we just take card payments, it's so much easier, it just goes straight into the bank. And so that's another step, that's one less thing that we have to do.
I think cash will always be there, certainly for what we do. I think we're always going to be taking cash.
As long as people keep spending, it doesn't really matter how it comes in, as long as they keep spending, and we can keep selling the artwork for all the artists and keep paying the artists in some way. It all comes out of a bank, so